Hello everybody, it is N, and I'm going to be doing another review. I'm going to be reviewing Stephen King's Carrie, which is awesome. I picked up this book pretty recently for very cheap actually, not too expensive, only $8, which is pretty awesome, at a secondhand store. I read it and it's still in pristine condition, which is pretty rare for me. The book is only 300 pages, not too long, but it's very condensed, I think. There's a lot of stuff that goes down. For instance, if I just want to talk about the plot, it's a very simple plot, to be honest. It's a girl, a high school girl, that realizes, whoa, I have superpowers, telekinesis, and goes on and uses the power. I'm not going to say how so, because that would be a spoiler. But she does go ahead and use it, and it's very detrimental. Yeah, that's what happens in the book. That's as simple as I can get it, because there's literally nothing else. The reason it's 300 pages is because it's also kind of used as both a story, as a novel, and also a news report. So you get lots of news reports, news cutouts in this, talking about what they know about it. You get lots of witness testimonies, you get lots of stuff like that, and that's why it's an actual book. It's a very simple one. There's not too much that goes on. I think that the bulk. So if you actually look at how much of the, I know this because I was thinking about it very much during the book. The first half of the book is about a few days, maybe 5 days or something like that. Also a bunch of backstory. But the second half is only about 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Like probably not even 2 or 3 days, probably 1 or 2 days. That's it. So it's very very thick. It's because there's so many viewpoints that you take a look at during the second half. So much stuff happens. I should probably tell you. Carrie goes to the prom. That's the important part of the story, and that's where all the stuff happens. And it's crazy. It's really really interesting. My favorite part about the story was how we get so many viewpoints on what happened. We see people that actually bullied her, and we see their testimonies, as well as some people that didn't hate her as much in their testimonies. So we see a lot of viewpoints there, and it's very, I think it's very comprehensive. My own thing is very comprehensive. The first part of the story is not very comprehensive. It's just backstory, and it's just going through her life. Very simple. But at the end, it's very comprehensive, which is really really awesome, because we learned so much about Carrie. We learned so much about what happened to her, and we get to end it off on a very very satisfying note, because the ending is a news clip out or something like that. It's news, so we get to see the world, what happens to the world after Carrie, or the town anyway. So it's very interesting in that regard. We it's not so much about Carrie, and the first half is about Carrie. It's about how tortured she is, but the second half, it's more about everybody else. So it's very interesting. I really like this book. I legitimately really like the book. It's so simple. It's so detailed in its own way, but it's really truly a simple book in its own regard, and because of that, it's very entertaining. I'm very happy with it. While reading, I was literally unable to stop reading. That's never happened to me before. I've never had a book where I'm reading and I don't want to stop reading. But this is so absorbing. This is the only, and I know people say that all the time, but this is the only absorbing book I've ever read in my entire life. As much as the plot wasn't the best plot I've ever seen from King, I think his writing in that, in this book, in Carrie, is just incredible. It's so gripping and it's so terrifying. Yeah, terrifying. So I would give this book a 4 out of 5. The only reason I would give it a 4 out of 5 is no reason. I made a mistake. 5 out of 5 or nothing. I can't find anything wrong with this book. I know I've been giving 5 out of 5 for every single book, but that's because I've read all the good books so far. When I get to the lesser books up there, it's gonna go down. Don't worry about it. But legit, really, 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 I love this book. It's awesome. I would give it a 5 out of 5, and I would recommend it for high school kids, because that's the setting. You get it from a high school kid. So if you're in high school or older, that might be a very good fit for you, because you understand what high school, you already know what high school is about, and you learn about what high school is for her, which is interesting in its own way, because it's a whole nother view. Adults can remember high school. Children, they won't get it at all. I wouldn't recommend it for children. Smaller kids, it doesn't make that much sense. This is very very relatable book for a high school student. So I think high school students should read it. So, 5 out of 5 high school student recommendation. That should be about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you learned anything, hit the like button or comment down below. Tell me that you liked it. Thank you for commenting. I know you're commenting. Thank you. And I'll see you next time with another review eventually. Bye.